Government is marking 7 years in power in a rather subdued manner. There are no celebrations. The party has been observing Covis Sewa Diwas with big outreach in village levels. Prime Minister Modi, who addressed his Mann Ki Baat radio program, referred to the pandemic as a big challenge, calling it a big blow to lives and the economy. He also pledged to make India emerge victorious in the COVID war. He said India has experienced many moments of national pride, including development and national security. The BJP and the opposition, however, crossed swords. The opposition Congress accused the Modi government of all-round failure, including the vaccine and on the COVID management front. BJP chief JP Nadda also attacked the opposition, accusing them of trying to break the morale of the country through a misinformation campaign.
साथियों, इन 7 सालों में भारत ने डिजिटल लेन देन में दुनिया को नई दिशा दिखाने का काम किया है। आज किसी भी जगह जितनी आसानी से आप चुटकियों में डिजिटल पेमेंट कर देते हैं, वो कोरोना के समय में भी बहुत उपयोगी साबित हो रहा है। आज स्वच्छता के प्रति देशवासियों की गंभीरता और सतर्कता बढ़ रही है। हम रिकॉर्ड सैटेलाइट भी प्रक्षेपित कर रहे हैं और रिकॉर्ड सड़कें भी बना रहे हैं। इन 7 वर्षों में ही देश के अनेकों पुराने विवाद भी पूरी शांति और सौहार्द से सुलझाए गए हैं। पूर्वोत्तर से लेकर कश्मीर तक शांति और विकास का एक नया भरोसा जगा है। साथियों, क्या आपने सोचा है ये सब काम जो दशकों में भी नहीं हो सके, इन 7 सालों में कैसे हुए? ये सब इसलिए संभव हुआ क्योंकि इन 7 सालों में हमने सरकार और जनता से ज्यादा एक देश के रूप में काम किया, एक टीम के रूप में काम किया, टीम इंडिया के रूप में काम किया। हर नागरिक ने देश को आगे बढ़ाने में एकाध कदम आगे बढ़ाने का प्रयास किया है।
जो लोग आज वैक्सीन पर हल्ला कर रहे हैं, ये वही लोग हैं जिन्होंने प्रधानमंत्री जी को जब वैक्सीन वो बना रहे थे उसके लिए भारत के उद्यमियों को प्रेरित कर रहे थे, जब रिसर्च के लिए वो उसको प्रेरित कर रहे थे, तो हर तरीके से भारत के मोराल को तोड़ने का काम विपक्षी पार्टियों ने किया। क्या कहते थे उस समय? इसमें थर्ड ट्रायल ठीक से नहीं हुआ है, बिना थर्ड ट्रायल के लोगों को अगर ये दे दिया जाएगा तो उनके जान को जोखिम में डाला जाएगा। ये बीजेपी की वैक्सीन है, ये मोदी जी की वैक्सीन है। उस समय तरह तरह के प्रश्न खड़े करने वाले लोग आज वैक्सीन 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 को चिल्ला रहे हैं।
आज 7 साल हो गए देश को एक नाकाम, नाकारा और नासमझ सरकार का बोझ ढोते हुए। मेरा देश भुगत रहा है। मेरा देश भुगत रहा है क्योंकि आर्थिक मंदी के काले बादल चारों ओर मंडरा रहे हैं। यह 73 साल में देश की सबसे कमजोर सरकार साबित हुई है। साफ है साथियों कि देश 7 सालों की मोदी सरकार की निर्मित बदहाली को भुगत रहा है।
Well, Jaisalmer, known for its shimmering sand and majestic forts, is witnessing a paralysis of the healthcare services in the system there. The city's district hospital is a picture of negligence and apathy, with the defunct ICU turned into a dump yard. What is even more shocking is that ventilator machines from the Prime Minister's CARES Fund are lying junked while patients are battling for life in that. Mosmi Singh gets us this ground report.
The Rajasthan government has been engaged in showcasing how well it has managed the pandemic. However, a reality check on ground zero exposes the truth.
If you want to know about the health services of any district, you must visit the district hospital. And we are at Jaisalmer's Jawahir Hospital that actually caters to an area of 38,000 square kilometers, more than 400 villages and a population of 8 lakh. How does the hospital, fare as far as the COVID facilities are concerned? We'll go and check out.
Jawahar Hospital is supposedly the only lifeline for this parched region. Almost the size of Haryana, it boasts of a 4-bedded intensive care unit, 138 oxygen beds and a dedicated COVID ward. Patients travel from far-flung rural areas hoping they will be treated.
Shocking pictures from the COVID ward at the Jaisalmer hospital. What is shocking is not the empty beds. Shocking is the gross misuse of equipment when they're needed the most. You can see that these are ventilators that are actually full of dust. Right here you can see PM Care Fund. Given from the PM Care Fund, Jaisalmer received about almost 17 ventilators.
Jaisalmer received 13 ventilators from the PM Cares Fund. The attendants of patients at the ward say they have never seen the machines in use. Even as patient Rajaram gestures a no with his hand.
वेंटिलेटर नहीं लगा हुआ किसी का भी जी नहीं
ऐसी पड़ी हुई है मशीन
ये मशीनें अब लोग ध्यान नहीं ऐसी पड़ी है
कभी ये मशीनें लगी आप लोग की और
नहीं लगाई
किसी भी पेशेंट को लगाई
ना किसी को नहीं लगाई मैं देखी नहीं मैं यहीं था 5 दिन से यहीं हूँ हाँ देखी नहीं लगाई नहीं किसी ने.
With ventilators not being out to use, Jaisalmer Hospital has seen a high referral rate, with patients being sent hundreds of miles away to Jodhpur and Bikaner. Many giving up the fight on the way. There were reports that the wires of the ventilator machines had been nibbled by rats.
कुछ वेंटिलेटर में थोड़ी सी प्रॉब्लम आई थी कि वो नहीं हो रहे थे, तो हमने उसके लिए टेक्नीशियंस को बुला लिया है, तो वो उसको रिपेयर करके अभी टेक्नीशियन को कॉल कर लिया है, वो उसको थोड़ा जो कुछ प्रॉब्लम है तो वो उसको शुरू कर देंगे हम उसको. ये शायद करीब 6-7 महीने हो गए होंगे. उसमें मैं पीएमओ था, उस समय ये आए थे, उससे पहले भी आगे थे. पर इस्तेमाल जैसे पिछली बार पीक थी तो हमारे वेंटिलेटर्स जो थे उसको हमने चलाया था.
If the state of the COVID ward was not enough proof of the callousness of the authorities, we reached the ICU.
This is the critical care unit. The condition, you can see that all the machines are shut at a point, at a time when the pandemic is at its peak. The ventilator machines, the oxygen cylinders are simply being junked here.
Instead of ventilators and concentrators, we found hammers and spades at work. While the country was waging a war against the pandemic, this ICU at Jaisalmer is still just a dump yard.
This is not a construction site. This is the critical care unit of the Jaisalmer hospital. At a time when the critical care unit is needed the most. You can see that what is the state over here, and if you thought that oxygen concentrators are in huge demand, then perhaps the Jaisalmer hospital authorities don't really think so. In fact, it doesn't seem that they're interested in treating the patients or caring for the equipment that is there in the hospital.
ये काम आज दोपहर को बोला गया था, तो अभी लगे हुए है. और
क्या बना रहे हैं आप यहाँ?
बस एक एक्स्ट्रा बेड के लिए बना रहे हैं ICU. 3 बने हुए हैं, तो एक एक्स्ट्रा और बन जाएगा. तो आज वैसे भी कंप्लीट हो जाएगा शाम तक.
It has been nearly 1.5 years into the COVID fight, but work started the day our camera reached the ICU. Authorities were ready with all forms of excuses.
पुराना ICU में 3 बेड हैं, उनको हमने रिपेयरिंग करके उसको भी हम 2-4 दिनों के अंदर शुरू कर देंगे. मसला उठाया था और उसको शुरू करने की कवायद भी थी, पर ये कोरोना में हमने इधर जो ICU शुरू कर दिया था, इधर वार्ड में, कॉटेज वार्ड में, और फर्स्ट हॉल और सेकंड हॉल हमने वेंटिलेटर इधर लगा दिए थे.
The local MLA's son claims the ICU could not start due to the shortage of staff and lack of specialists.
पूर्व में भी जैसलमेर के अंदर स्टाफ की कमी होने के कारण आईसीयू स्टार्ट नहीं कर पाए थे, क्योंकि आईसीयू स्टार्ट करने के लिए जैसे कि हम सभी जानते हैं एनेस्थेटिक इंटेंसिविस्ट की ज़रूरत होती है। पूर्व में वो नहीं होने के कारण स्टार्ट नहीं हो पाया था। उसके बाद स्टाफ आने के कारण, हॉस्पिटल में ज़्यादा लोड होने के कारण और ऑक्सीजन आउटपुट प्रॉपर नहीं होने के कारण स्टार्ट नहीं कर पाए।
Higher officials give even more bizarre excuses.
आईसीयू में जो सेटअप था उसको हमने एक कॉटेज वार्ड में शिफ्ट किया था। कॉटेज वार्ड में शिफ्ट करने का पर्पस ये था कि आईसीयू वाज लोकेटेड इन बिटवीन द मेडिसिन वार्ड एंड द गायनी वार्ड. So we had a setup of 12 ventilators, but at any point of time, not more than 4 to 5 ventilators were used.
The DM forgot that this is not the year 2020. It's almost been a year of death, devastation and lockdown. If the first or the second wave could not wake up the system, then what would?
These pictures are an eye-opener and expose a failed and crippled healthcare system of Rajasthan. It exposes a government that is making a mockery of the strife and struggle of the people of the state. It's time that the Rajasthan government wakes up before it's too late. With video journalist Satya Rotre, this is Mosmi Singh inside the CCU ward at Jaisalmer Hospital for India Today.
Well, oil leakage reported from a barge named Gull Constructor at Vadrai in Palghar, Maharashtra coast. The leak is posing a threat to sensitive ecosystem on the coastline. The constructor barge was anchored near Alibag due to the cyclone. However, the anchor broke and it moved into the sea. There were 137 people on board on this barge. The barge reached Vadrai, Palghar area, which is over 100 kilometers away from Alibag. At Vadrai, Palghar, the barge struck some rocks and diesel oil from it started to leak. Well, there is over 80,000 liters of oil in the barge now. 137 people were rescued by the Coast Guard and the Indian Navy. The locals mainly depend on fishing here. They allege that the fish are now smelling diesel. ONGC, AFCON, Coast Guard and other officials are trying to stop the leakage and unload this diesel.
What has happened over here, that the barge has got stuck onto the huge rocks beneath, and therefore there is the oil, the diesel oil, which is continuously leaking. This barge has over 80,000 liters of diesel oil, and this is very, very dangerous for the marine life. The local fishermen can't do fishing because here all the locals are completely dependent on fishing. Now the officials are trying to first stop the leakage and also remove all the oil from this particular area. So what they have done is they have sealed here in this the visual. You can see the red whole band. It's completely sealed. But what is happening, that the waves are very high. It's the high tide every 2 times a day, and here right now also, if you can see, the tides are very much high. So the oil is actually jumping from that particular band and it is coming out, and it is causing a very grave danger to the marine life. Now, the officials have brought in huge tanks over here. The tanks have the capacity of having 1,000 liters. So what they are doing is, through the help of the local fishermen boats over here, they are taking this huge tanks till here. The tanks will be filled with all this oil and then will be dumped in the coastal area. So many rounds have to be done to clear this oil, and now it's a challenging time to clear the oil as soon as possible. With camera person Rakesh Salaskar, this is Saurav Aktania in Palghar for India Today.
And a day after, in fact days after fugitive Mehul Choksi was arrested in Dominica, India Today TV has accessed some photographs where he's seen behind bars, has got some injury marks also on his body. In a startling revelation, Antigua and Barbuda, Prime Minister Gaston Brown said that Mehul Choksi left Antigua with his girlfriend but was caught in Dominica. Antigua also said that after his arrest, an Indian plane had arrived in Dominica with documents from Indian courts to confirm that Choksi is a fugitive. The Prime Minister of Antigua has also said that Choksi was funding the opposition there so that if the opposition wins elections, then Mehul Choksi would be let off. The pictures of alleged assault emerged after Mehul Choksi's lawyers alleged that he was abducted from Antigua and Barbuda, forcibly taken to Dominica and was badly beaten. However, Antigua and Barbuda police chief has denied the allegations by Choksi's lawyers and said He has no information or indication that Choksi was forcefully removed from Antigua.
The Dominican government has a free hand to act. In fact, Mehul Choksi may have made a mistake to travel to Dominica. The information that we're getting now is that he may have taken his girlfriend to Dominica, probably to dinner to have a good time and so on, and got caught. Now, that would have been a monumental error, because whereas in Antigua, because he's a citizen, we could not deport him. What is happening here, is that they are literally defending the campaign money. So here's a situation in which Choksi had the best law firm representing him. He had, what's his name there? Dorset and Watt, Sir Gerald Watt and Dr. Dorset.
Yes, David
Their
Dorset.
law firm defending him, doing a good job. In fact, they're the ones who moved quickly and really avoided the revocation of his citizenship and tied up everything in court. But some UPP individuals befriended him, started to take money from him, small contributions, and he promised them big contributions since they told him that they will get their UPP lawyers to get him off the hook, and that if they win the next general elections, that they will protect him.